Okay, wake up to Rodney part 2. So, I just tried to get a photograph of the buzzard. He wasn't there today. He's been there 4 days this week, but not today. So, I need to get here earlier, really. So, yeah, not every day is a catching day. Now, let me talk to you about people letting you down. And a rabbit in the middle of the road. Where's my camera when I need it? See, the minute I open the door, it's going to run off. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so, oh, wow, look how close I can get to the little rabbit. No, little bunny. Yeah, so, people letting you down. Why do people let you down? You know, who knows? I mean, I've let people down. I let people down all the time. Don't do it on purpose. So so let's talk about it, because it happens all the time. People letting people down. Now, like I just said, nobody does it on purpose. So if nobody does it on purpose, why does it happen? It happens for a multitude of reasons. Now, me, the way so let's say everybody lets everybody down at some point. Yeah. And we just have coping mechanisms for dealing with it. My way of reducing the amount that I let people down is I just don't say yes to anything. You know, I don't, and I only commit to things that I truly want to commit to. So that way, I'm not going to let you down. Yeah. Because I've only committed to what in our conversations. Now, the reason why people do let you down is because they add stuff to or take stuff away from what you've said. And I do this, so if you've been taught by me, you know exactly what I mean. So if I ask you a direct question, and then you start looking around at other pupils and trying to garner an answer, whatever, yeah, you're looking for influence. I'm just asking you to answer the question, whatever that question is. Now, whenever I ask someone a question and someone else answers, that's when I know there's a higher. You can go into all kinds of social engineering and social aspects, but that's when I know that there's all kinds of esteem issues going on. There's a hierarchy. There's a looking for an answer, looking for a leadership. Yeah, and that's what people do. Yeah, they're looking either for a way out, or they're looking for somebody to answer for them. And a lot of the times people do. But I always stay true to my question. Right, so in exactly the same way, yeah. How do you deal with people letting you down? So, people misinterpret things, communication, or lack of communication. People, this is the best one. People hear what they want to hear instead of what they're told. They hear and that's when, so when we talk, so I'm doing some leadership training. So that's exactly what happens in leadership training. Somebody, if you assume the leadership role, those around you will either assume the adult role or the child role. Now, the child role is you're looking to be either told what to do or to given some way of what to say or what to do. You're looking for guidance. Whereas a leader obviously leads the way, says what says, does what needs to be done. Right. Now, if you assume the position of child in any relationship or in any group, you automatically, are looking. I was rubbing my eyes. You're automatically looking to make a mistake. You're automatically looking for a way of getting out of it. You're automatically looking for a reason, excuse, because you've assumed the position of a child. A child doesn't have responsibility, and because they don't have responsibility, they can be exonerated from anything that they agree to, because they've assumed the position of child. Now the adult assumes a position of, so the other person who assumes a position of an adult has some degree of responsibility. Now that person is going to let you down more than the child person. Does this make sense? So, for example, a child can have all kinds of confidence in whatever it is that they're saying. And it quite regularly happens, especially when they've been caught doing something wrong. They're so clear and confident in what they are saying. Rightly or wrongly, lies or truth, they are so clear and confident in what they are saying. Because they have the luxury of being seen as that child, because that's the role that they've assumed. Now the person who's assumed the role as an adult doesn't have that luxury, so they can be held accountable. So you can lose trust in them, you can fall out with them, you can have an argument with them, all those types of things. Now the leader, he's the one who's let down. Why? Because he's asked for something to be done and it hasn't been done, or hasn't been done to the way that he's wanted it done. Now, whose fault is it? So if I give you an instruction, you didn't understand the instruction, you did what you thought you heard instead of what you was told, a mistake has been made, you've let down two levels of hierarchy, as in the adult and the leader, if you was the child. So now what happens? We have to see you as, oh well, they're just learning, we can help them, we can forgive them, we can do this, we can create an action plan, we can or how do you view how that person made that mistake? How do you view how that person let you down? The best one is, you've got a meeting tomorrow at 12, or we're going on a date, let's meet for a date. Oh, when? Let's go for coffee at lunchtime, 1 o'clock on Friday. That person doesn't turn up, so you message them, oh, I thought our date was today. Oh, you meant today, I thought you meant next Friday. That person's let you down. Now, because that person is an adult, or in the role of adult, leader, child, they are now classed as an adult. They've made a decision. For whatever reason, they now want to be seen as a child. They've made an extremely basic mistake. They never, I'm guessing when you was trying to meet them, you would have been messaging saying, oh, I'm here at the coffee shop, where are you? They would have been getting those messages, and ignoring them. So they've made a decision, an adult decision, but they want you to treat them as a child. Oh, can we meet next week? That's when, and no, that's it, we're done, no more dates. No more dates, no more meetings, no more chances. So it takes a very tough person to deal in that way, to not give chances, it takes a very tough leader to not respond to a child in a way that a child wants to. But once you've been let down, it becomes easier to make that decision. So whatever party lets you down, whether it's a child or an adult, if you're a leader, you just get rid. Now, Is that a good way? I wouldn't say it is, because in some cases mistakes can happen. I've left the house, I've done loads of marking, and I've left the house and I've left the marking and I've gone, oh sugar. You know, these things happen. These things can happen. You know, and or you've forgotten your bank card, or whatever. You can. Mistakes can happen. You can forget things. Now, there's a difference between forgetting something and letting someone down. Letting someone down is completely different. Letting someone down is showing that you don't have respect for them. Letting someone down is showing that whatever you chose to do in the time, instead of the time to help them, you've chosen whatever that thing was. So you've let them down on purpose. And there's no way round it. So you either have to take responsibility for it, oh, I fancy a bacon sandwich, or not. But whichever way, you've got to come up with a coping mechanism for it. And that's where people get upset. That's where people start to, you know, think in terms of, think in terms of, you know, disrespect and those types of things. But it's a really good conversation to have. And it happens all the time in business. All the time. Oh, I asked for 9-inch windows or a 9-inch gap, and you give me a 7-inch gap. You know, I've let you down on the job. We've got this family friend who does brilliant, helps all the time with family stuff. But he always does a bit here, bit there, bit here. He's got to go. I've only got an hour. And he leaves it halfway through. He always leaves you. But he's such a nice guy that you'd never say anything. But after the first time, and it was like left like it was, you don't put yourself in a position to be let down again. You just don't do it. You ask once, gets done, doesn't get done, never ask again. And that's the best way of dealing with it. Best way. Remove yourself. Always remove yourself from those who can cause any kind of, I'm not going to say harm because that's not the right word, but can cause any kind of upsetness to you as the leader. Because if you're the leader, you've always going to have people assume another role, whether it's child or adult or another leader. So some of the biggest clashes you'll ever come up against, and think about the relationships you've had. If you're a leader, the biggest clash is when you're going to come up against someone else who's a leader. That's your biggest clash. Simple. And you know, it's like I was talking to someone yesterday, and like in that friendship group, there's always somebody that can turn the conversation on them. Whatever it is, whatever the conversation is, they can always turn it back onto them. If you got divorced, they got divorced worse. If you've got a Range Rover, they've got the Vogue. If you've got a Vogue, they've got a Vogue SE. Yeah. If you went to Monaco, they went to Monaco and stayed with the Principality. You know, there's always that type of person in any group. Now that person, obviously, in the way that they approach, is the child in the group, but they want to be a leader, but they don't want to be the adult. So a child has to go through being an adult before becoming a leader. And that's when you know who you argue with, who you debate with, who you spend time trying to educate. So, for example, if there's a disagreement, and someone holds the power, they automatically are the leader because they hold the power. Now, you may not hold the power, but you may be a leader in certain circumstances. So you're now the adult because you need to, in some way, appease the relationship with that leader. So you don't become the child, but you definitely become an adult because you still have some level of responsibility. But leaders don't argue with children. And when I say child, I don't mean an actual child. I mean how the mindset and the position of the person in the group. Does that make sense? I'm just making that clear. I don't mean child as in a 9-year-old or 17-year-old or 15-year-old or whatever it is. Eyes of the law. What I mean is that once you assume a leader, yeah, everyone else beneath you is either a child or an adult. Learn that. Listen, right, like and subscribe because I want to drink my water. See you later. Bye.